Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Jobu, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Jobu Sports Report. Because without you guys, well, we know I'd still be talking because I literally just can't stop talking. And of course, Joe, go figure, the first person here is Daniel, a die-hard New York Giant fan. And it's crazy how you trolls are just hanging out. But my question to you trolls, since you're going to start the show off and make me do this, are you going to be man enough to come in here if the New York Giants lose to the Dallas Cowboys the opening game? Because I will be here. You know I can't shut up. I will be talking and reaping my Dallas Cowboys day in, day out. I think about them in my sleep. I think about them on my way to work. I think about them while I'm at work. I think them while I'm at home, while I'm cooking. I'm always thinking and talking about my Dallas Cowboys. Will you, Giants fans, if your team loses, show up? Will you man up? Will you come in here and say, you know what? You were the better team today, and you got us? Or are you just going to do like the Eagle fans did last year and punk the hell out and not show up? Because regardless of what my team will do, if you beat me, I'm going to give you props. It might be a slow clap, but I'm going to give you props, and I'm going to say congratulations. And if you want to talk trash to me and tell me how bad my team sucks, I'll take it. Because I'm a man, and if I'm going to dish it out, I will take it. So with that being said, I want to thank everybody for joining in tonight. It's one of those rough weeks. Everybody in Houston, everybody in Texas is dealing with the flood. In fact, anybody who's dealing with any kind of drama or bad things, I'm going to go ahead and pour you a refill along with Joe Booze. And tonight, I'm pulling out Roscoe because I think we need a real shot. So, prayers to everybody in Houston that are dealing with the floods. I'm hearing that a car with 6 people, a family of 6, got swept off and drowned. And that's tragic. Unfortunately, this is one of those situations where there's right now nothing you can do until the rain stops and the water recedes. Other than, you can do local donations and stuff. I'm happy that the Dallas Cowboys, the NFL Foundation, as well as Robert Kraft and the Texans, each donated $1 million towards United Way for their long-term relief and things. And that's one of those things that you guys know I'm down with United Way. I've done a lot of great events and stuff with United Way. I've met some great players and people giving back. And it's one of those charities that you don't necessarily hear that much about. You'll see the billboards or you'll see United Way commercial. But they're into long-term rehabilitation and stuff. American Red Cross, they do a great job, like, immediately. They're there right now helping serve meals, give blankets, get bottles of water, get blood and stuff like that. But once everything's stabilized, they're gone. And what's left behind is you got hundreds of thousands of homes that are destroyed. We're talking about the drywall's got to be ripped out, the insulation, the wiring, somebody uses the plumbing, and be rebuilt. Some of these things can be swept off completely. And that is the down and dirty, hard part of the job. It's still going on in New Orleans all these years later. So United Way is actually part of doing that long-term relief and things of getting communities back on their feet and stuff. So it's nice to see money being donated there as well. But if you guys want to help, donate to United Way, donate to American Red Cross, give blood. You can donate clothes to, like some of your local churches and stuff that'll go to people. Because literally, imagine you're sitting in your home right now watching this. I'm in my basement. Imagine if this right now were covered with water. Imagine if you were in your house and you couldn't leave and you're literally watching the water rise in your house. You move from the first floor to the second floor and it's still rising where you're at the point of being in your attic. That's where people are right now. Everything that you have in that house is gone. So it's going to take a lot of time and a lot of money and a lot of effort to help all these people out. So that's why that refill is for you guys. Jason, thank you, Jason, very much for the super chat.
One hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is
I really appreciate that. So, back to the news. Zeke Elliott, just before I came on, report came out that Zeke Elliott his people are really concerned about how the case is going to go tomorrow. They're not feeling very good, and you can look at how it's all being set up by the NFL. The requests that their legal team put out there basically have been squashed. Their case predicated on discrediting the witness, because what it all boils down to is his word against her word. That's what the NFL is basing it on. And unfortunately, it's not like a trial. They're not going to be able to cross-examine her. They're not going to be able to even use her notes that the NFL got. She's not going to be there. So the only thing to do is say is she's lying to the people that say she's not. So the only thing he can do at this point is, if it ends up being that NFL denies it, which will probably take them a little bit of time to do. They're not going to decide tomorrow. It'll take a couple of days for them to craft out a response. The question will be, will it be in time for him to be suspended for the Giant game? Is he can basically kick the can down the road and try and take it to court. The danger of that, of course, is it could be that he gets a speedy trial, unlike the NFL, and let's say it's in 2 months, and it ends up being he loses. Well, we could lose him for the last half of the season or going into the playoffs or what have you. So, Kyle, Joe Boo's got a refill, and Houston has a refill as well. So it may be one of those things that you can pay me now or you can pay me later, but Zeke, you're going to pay me because you are the example. And as I've been doing research on the NFL, it's kind of interesting because in the 18 cases since Ray Rice, there's only been 2 players that actually got 6 games. Think about it. Greg Hardy's case originally was 10 games. Harold Henderson actually said, well, you can't go to 10 games because you've never actually had that. It's not enough warning to give a guy 10 games when before you're only giving people like 1 and 2. So he said that's too much. So he reduced it to 4. So think about this. Greg Hardy, who was convicted, got 4 games. Dak, who's never even been charged, and there's a question. There's, believe me, more than a shadow of a doubt. It's a freaking eclipse. With that, they're saying he gets 6. But, the NFL, it's private business. So we'll just have to wait and see on that one. And I was just noticing, Rod Smith is awesome. Well, here's the problem, which is a good problem for the Dallas Cowboys, and I talked about this in a video earlier today, that the Cowboys may be looking for a trade partner. Because here's the thing, you got 90 people in camp. Come Saturday, you got to have 53, and then your practice squad guys. So there's a lot of guys that are on your team right now that are in practice, and that you may say, hey, this guy's going to be a player in the next couple of years. This is a guy we'd like to keep, but you can't keep them all. And you look at some places on our team, we've had a lot of depth, but you can't keep them all. You're going to have teams that are lining up on cut down day in Dallas to get some of these guys. There's only so many good guys that'll go around. When you look at our running game right now, okay, even if we lose Zeke for 6 games, you got 3 more running backs. You got 3 more running backs better than some teams have as their number 1 back that are backups. Run DMC, average 5 yards a carry. Alfred Morris, did he average 6 yards a carry this past weekend? And then Rod Smith, that dude, he's another baller. And of course, you want to keep him because of his brother too. But you can't keep all of them. Then you go to wide receivers, like Michael just said. You've got Dez. You're going to keep Dez. You got Cole Beasley. Oh, how about the Cowboys?
And only thing else I can say is, how about them Cowboys?
Thank you. How about them Cowboys? And we got another one. We're going crazy. We're going crazy tonight. Well, thank you, Dennis Foster. I appreciate that. I try and work hard, man, because I try and pass all the good news on the Dallas Cowboys, the bad news, and everything else. And I like to try and make sure that we keep it current and that we try and give you the news, unlike ESPN where they shade it. And how about them Cowboys? Okay, yes. How about the Cowboys? Yes, you got me. I got it backwards on the Murray leaving versus Parnell. But either way, my point is that free agency, basically letting your high-priced free agents go, doesn't hurt you as much as you think, because in return you get the compensatory picks. And if you pick well in the draft, like we have done, you end up being able to build your team better. Because when you're talking about a good premier free agent, you're talking about 10, 12, $15 million. That's a big chunk of change, and you can't build a team that way. And generally speaking, most of these big name free agents are gone within 2 years, and what they leave behind is salary cap hell. That's where New England, and as much as I hate them, with the exception of this year, I think they realize that Tom Brady can't go on forever. So we're going to try and win another one and try and make sure we put Tom Brady out there with Super Bowl championships. But what they've been doing forever is bringing in guys young, playing them, no names, let them make a name for themselves, trade them, and get more picks. You'll remember a couple of years ago, they traded their a guard to Miami during training camp who was a Pro Bowler. Picks in return. Traded a linebacker who wanted to get a raise to Cleveland. Gets picks in the back. You let these high-priced free agents go. You get picks back. And they keep these picks going. So as we go through with this numbers game, where we have a lot of wide receivers, where you've got Cole Beasley, where you've got Ryan Switzer, who hasn't even got really on the field yet. You've got a Bryce Butler. You've got Terrence Williams. You got more guys than you can keep. Somebody may have to go. So it's advantageous if you can find somebody who's desperate for somebody now who doesn't want to risk trying to get them on waivers, that maybe they'll give you a 5th or 6th round pick and you get something for a guy that you're going to have to cut and release. That's wheeling and dealing, and that's how you win in the NFL. You have commodities, and I hate to say that players are commodities, but they are commodities, and you've got to maximize what you can get for them. Lyle Collins, he had a few penalties, but when you think about who he's playing against, he definitely had a really good game in my mind. The fact that he didn't give up a sack, I'm feeling much better about Collins than I am about having Doug Free in there. I feel good about that. The person I'm scared to death of and has all kinds of potential but just can't stay healthy for more than a week is Chaz Green. He played well for Tyron Smith when he was out, but every week, last week he was dehydrated. The week before that, it was his shoulder. This week, it was his ankle. You can't depend on him, unfortunately, and that's the bad part. Trey. Oh, man, I tell you what, Jason Witten is still a beast. 71 yards, 6 catches this past week. I'm not worried about our offense. I feel freaking fantastic about Dak Prescott. Dak is 135 QBR in preseason, 11 of 14 passes, 100-some yards. Dak is going to be the real deal. I'm excited about the offense. And the defense, the much maligned defense, it's not going to be as bad as they keep saying. Because I got to tell you, the thing that kills me is Sims. I've been talking about him because he's going to be my new idiot of the week. Sims is still picking the New York Giants as the second best team in the NFL. And hang on for 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. Hold on. I've got to take care of something real quick. Back in 30 seconds. My apologies, people. Hopefully, I didn't lose everybody there while I was gone. Had to take care of a little business there real quick. But our defense, regardless of what you keep hearing from the experts out there, is not going to be anywhere near as bad as you think. In fact, I'm feeling actually pretty good. For all of you who the first 2 weeks of training camp were saying that Taco was going to be a bust. Taco is not looking good in practice. Not a game now. We were talking about early practice. And I told you guys, Taco has a hell of a first step. He's a rookie. He has a long ways to go, but he's going to be okay.
One hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is, how about that, Cowboys?
Thank you very much on the super chat, Rodney. Do I think Dak could lead the NFL passing yards this season? Well, I'm going to say no, Rodney. And the reason I say no is because, for a great reason, we're a balanced offense. We're not a team that can't run the ball. And see, here's the thing. Part of the reason Tony Romo got beat to hell is we lived and died by the pass. We passed about 60% of the time. He had great numbers, and that's why he's, Dallas Cowboys all-time leading passer. But what happened was teams weren't worried about the run. They could sell out. They could blitz. The defensive lineman could pin their ears back and get upfield. And, if, it's a run play, okay, you're going to get burned here and there. But sooner or later, you're going to get some sacks and make some big plays. Our offense is there also to help our defense. We score, but we don't have to score real quick. By running the ball, we're setting up the pass, and vice versa. There's so many different things that you can do on this offense. And you'll notice they keep calling Dak a dink and dunk quarterback, but it's a ball control offense. We want to score. We just don't want to score too fast. So we'll hit Jason Witten for, 8, 10, 12-yard plays. We'll hit Cole Beasley. We'll go ahead and run Zeke and run out the clock. And when you're a team that's going to have leads, you're going to run the ball more in the second half just to kill the clock. And if you know Jason Garrett, all of those 8-8 years where we had big leads, like 2 games against the Lions, I believe we were up 2 or 3 scores, or when we were up, I believe 26-3 on Green Bay at halftime, we lost those games because Jason Garrett kept passing the damn ball. and not running out the clock. So, no, I don't think Dak Prescott is going to lead the league in passing yards. Now, he could lead the league in passing percentage and completion rate. But as far as passing yards, I don't think we're going to be passing for 5,000 plus yards. If we are, then there's a real problem for our team if we do. Let me go ahead and say hello to some of you guys tonight. I apologize, man. I've been sitting here talking because that damn Daniel, he's always the first one here. A troll, a hater, is always the first one here. But I'm not mad at you. So Brian, Michael, Jason P, Corey, Cristobal, TM Skills, Carlos, Bill B, Two Thrill, Christian, Cameo Cowboy, Marcelo, James West, Tin Man, Aisha, Simon, Robin, Dan, the American Liberal, Camo Cowboy, I said you twice, Trey Deal, Booze Daddy, how you doing, Booze Daddy? Yeah, Booze Daddy, you're right about that. But here's the thing. They made that whole thing that a first-time suspension was supposed to be 6 games, but apparently the only ones that get that 6 games are if you're related to the Dallas Cowboys. Because Josh Brown was there when they had that policy, but they gave him 1 game. The American Liberal, J Mac, Kevin, Boa, Morpheus for Life, Jared. Wow. Jason, there's a lot of people I haven't seen here before. Welcome, everybody, tonight. You are watching the Jobu Sports Report, and I appreciate each and every one of you guys here. I'm kind of ranting and raving a little bit about Zeke Elliott stuff. But how about them Cowboys? Great fan that's here. He has been in here when he comments all the time. He's got his own channel that he's starting up, so make sure you guys show him some support. How about them Cowboys? I think you misunderstood what happened with me and my cousin Derek. With the aquarium. The aquarium is a collector's item. It's 25 years old. And if you go around in my man cave here, I've got a lot of stuff that's really old. It's like me. Some of the stuff that I have here from the Cowboys is stuff from when I grew up. I've got a old button that's from the Miami Dolphins Cowboys Super Bowl from '73. I've got like an old clock radio that my dad had given me back in the 80s. I have Coke bottles from each of the Super Bowl years back in the 90s. I have a 25 anniversary Pepsi bottle that's never been opened. And so all these things are things that I've collected and I'm very, very fond of. I even have from the draft. I've got 3 different drafts here where I actually have draft cards that were given, but I don't open them. I have no idea they could be Jared Goff. They could be Zeke Elliott cards there. I don't know and won't know because I won't open it up. I want to keep that stuff like I got it. So when Derek and I were looking at the fish tank and actually going through it and seeing the stickers that are there, the old Tampa Bay ones, the old Denver with the orange helmet and the Bronco on there and stuff, and we realized that this is not something that you could go ahead and just replace real easy. And I know you said you got it on eBay and didn't cost that much and all that. But the value of keeping it the way it is, if you put water into it and start having the fish in there, you're going to scratch the glass that's on there. The stickers are eventually going to peel and fade and all that. And it's one of those things that you don't want to mess up. You want to keep that thing. And I hate to sound like Sheldon from The Big Bang, but it's kind of like when they had the Spock transporter and all that, you don't want to take it out of the box and screw it up. And so that's why that means even more by keeping it in the box and putting it on the shelf. So you can say, hey, how about them Cowboys gave us that? And this is something special. This is an antique. This is from years gone by. So I hope you understand, my point wasn't that we were looking to go ahead and resell it. To me, I was like, damn, I really hate to give this thing up. But because I would love to have this sitting on my shelf. So I want to give you a shout out and want to thank you very much for giving that to us and hope that you understand the whole video that we did about that. We got Kevin. We've got David. How about the Cowboys? Where was I? Boomer Sooner, Cameo, Boa. I know I saw Sarah in here. Well, J-Mac, I definitely think Collins. Okay, here's the thing. Khalil Mack is one of the best pass rushers in the NFL. My question is, do you think Doug Free would have done that well against him? Because I looked at him and he ended up knocking. I mean, Khalil Mack never really got started. There were a couple plays where he kind of got into him a little tight and stuff, but he recovered. And he's going to get better and better and better because remember, he was playing guard before. Now he's going back to right tackle. And it may sound like, oh, an offensive lineman is an offensive lineman, but everything changes when you move from one side to the other, big time. Because if you're a guard, left guard, your lean is going to be opposite this. You're used to the guys coming to this shoulder. You're used to your eyes focusing in what's going on over here. You go to the right side, well, everything is then reversed. Am I getting a Skype in? Oh my goodness. We have Law Nation calling into the house tonight. Oh my goodness. Wow. It's going to be a big night tonight. Let's see if we get it all hooked up here. Law, you hear me? Get my TV on here. Law, I've got you coming on. Can you hear me, Law? Up. Oh. Okay, Law Nation's trying to call in, which will be fantastic if I can get him. Let me try him again real quick. So everything has changed when you switch sides. So you got to get your footwork and everything else together. There we go. Everybody, we have Law Nation with us tonight. Can you hear me, Law? Can you hear me, Law Nation? Do you hear me now? I've got you here. Sorry, we're having a little technical difficulties. Dag nabbit, Law. Hang on, guys. Law's having a drink. Let me try that again. Hold on. Okay, we got Law Nation trying to call in, but having a hard time. Let's see if we get it this time. Law Nation, can you hear me? I don't have an audio for you, bud. No audio. No audio. Okay. Sorry, we're having a little technical difficulty. Let me send him a message. Okay. Sorry about that. We're trying to get Law in here, but for whatever reason, we're not getting. Let me try. Make sure we're plugged in. Okay, there we go. All right. So let's see if he tries it one more time. I hear it there. We're trying. Okay. He's not answering. So hopefully he'll try and call back and figure out what it is on his end. The shingles suck. We're not even going to talk about the Eagles. The Eagles have the Redskins, and that's going to be the battle for the basement. Well, thank you on the collection. I appreciate that. Jackie, there you doing? How are you doing tonight, Jackie? I am doing fantastic. Just living the dream being here with all you guys. Now, one of the things I also want to talk about was Taco again, and I got started and got sidetracked where I had to run out for a few seconds there. But Taco has an amazing first step. If you go ahead and watch him And a lot of times, most people won't watch what's going on the line, but because I played the line, you watch the defensive line, or if you have a chance, record the game and just look back at it and watch the defensive line. And almost 4-man, almost every single time, you will see that Taco is the first man across the line of scrimmage. He is always ahead of everybody else. Okay, let's try this one more time and see if we got. Well, we got you on everything. Law Nation, where's the picture at? Lawrence Thomas. We got all kinds of difficulties here tonight. Oh, he ended it. Problem must be on his end. It's ringing on my cell phone. It's ringing on that TV, and it's ringing on this one, but just not getting sound. Here we go again. I think I hear you. Law Nation, I don't see your picture. Law Nation. He's hanging up again. I heard something in the background. Cry Eagles cry. I like that. I hear you. Hey, Law. Damn, you almost had.
What's up? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Got no picture, but I can hear you. How you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing fine like wine, man.
Okay.
Hopefully, you guys don't have to see my face then, I guess. Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, it's a terrible thing. You got to look at mine, though, man. And, guys, if you don't know who Law Nation is, well, come out from underneath the rock, because Law Nation has got one of the best YouTube channels out there. I'm striving to be as good as he is. He is definitely joining us here tonight on a very crazy, crazy night with what's going on with Zeke Elliott. There we go. We got Law Nation. Law, what do you think about the whole Zeke Elliott situation tomorrow?
It's crass, man, to me. I think they should let the guy play. But I don't think that he's going to win the appeal like what's that guy named the Mickey Max Spagnolia? He said that I don't think that he has no new evidence. So if he has new evidence, then we can win, But if not, then it's gonna uphold the suspension.
It's not so much the new evidence; it's that they won't even let him cross-examine the witness or go with their testimony or go with even the notes. It's kind of like the NFL is just saying, "Okay, you can show up. Ain't nothing gonna change, but you can show up." And you're appealing to the guys that already said that you're guilty. So the question is, do you think he's going to take it to court? Or do you think he's just going to go ahead and say, you know what, let's just go ahead and take this and be done with it?
I think he should take it to court, but in a collective bargain agreement, it laments the fact that they gave all the power to Roger Goodell. So it's one of those scenarios. So.
Yeah, the only scary thing about it is, Tom Brady was fortunate enough that he decided at the beginning of next year, of the following year, to go ahead and take his. Hypothetically, what happens if justice is swift and, say 2 months from now we go to court and then ends up losing it, and then all of a sudden we lose it for the tail end of the season and going into the playoffs. And that's that's a bigger risk right there. You don't know what friends they have up there in New York.
Yeah, and then it's in New York, so.
Well, here's the thing that bothers me, man. I got trolls galore. I've got more Giant fans in here, I believe, than I think Dallas Cowboy ones. And they've been pounding on our Cowboys, between David Irving and the PEDs and Nolan Carroll and the drunk driving and the domestic assault, aggravated assault from Damian Wilson. But I'm sitting here looking at the headlines. And lo and behold, we got a Giant player who was busted driving while under the influence of weed. Just had one that was a defensive end. I can't pronounce his name because I'm a name butcher. That was just busted for PEDs, suspended for 4 games. You got Eli Manning, who was selling game-used equipment that wasn't game-used. And you had a domestic assault player. That right there is everything that Dallas had, right? But nobody's talking about them being a culture problem.
It's crazy. It's drama in the Big East, or drama in the Big D, as they call it. But it's just one of those things that the Dallas Cowboys are a punching bag. I just can't wait for the season to get started, man. I just can't wait for Dak Prescott to prove that he is the rookie of the year last year and prove that he is what he is. And he's sharp, he's poised. I even had Holy Ways to agree with me, you know.
Oh, you had Holy Ways? Oh, my goodness. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I got to tell you, Dak used fake autographs. You see, there's Daniel. See, that Daniel right there, dude is always the first one on here. I'm wondering if he's like a 12-year-old kid that just is always sitting at his computer just waiting to get some attention. But if you look at to me, I thought Dak looked fantastic. What's he got? 135 QBR so far in preseason. I mean, he's hitting Jason Witten. Jason Witten does not look anywhere near his age. I'm mad that they didn't connect with that Des Bryant pass, but I'm feeling like with or without Zeke, I think we're going to be okay with those first 6 games.
Yeah, we're going to be formidable enough. The only thing that kind of raised a red flag for me is this defensive back, the secondary. Pretty cool with the defensive line. I think that we're going to create somewhat type of pressure. I'm just worried about the Jordan Lewis's of the worlds, the Awuzies and the Xavier Woods. They got to get out there and play. I want to see some rookies out there playing, making some plays on the balls. That's what I'm worried about.
Well, here's okay. You know, I'm about spreading the mojo. I'm about looking at the positive, and here's what I see. I don't see a lot of offensive juggernauts the first part of the season. I'm sorry, Eli Manning and Giant Trolls have at it, but I'm sorry, the Giants' offense is putrid. I mean, I know they've got Brandon Marshall. He just got back to practice today. They're saying that Odell might be able to play, but, you know, the question is, who knows? And if he does, he hasn't practiced in weeks, and he's coming back from an ankle injury. They don't have an offensive line. I mean, you look at Flowers and those guys, they stink on offense. They can't run the ball. And I know you guys are sitting there talking about, how well you guys beat the Jets, but 16 points came from the defense. That offense doesn't scare me.
It don't, man. And then who in the hell is quarterbacking for the Jets anyway? So
that's what I'm saying. Christian Hackenberg.
Right.
Okay, so you're talking about, oh man, you looked like crap against Cleveland Browns. They couldn't score against Cleveland.
A rookie quarterback. Well, they say that against Dak, but whoever Cleveland Brown quarterback, he's no Dak Prescott.
Okay, all right. So that's my point is you're not facing Aaron Rodgers' first game of the season. Then we go, of course, and play Denver. Denver's got a great defense, but they're another team that's offensively challenged. Wouldn't you agree on that?
Yeah.
I mean, they're not a team that you're going to say is going to drop 50 points on you. They've got quarterback issues. So, I think you got a chance at that. And then you could play Arizona, and I think Carson Palmer, I think he's already hit the wall. I think he's gone about as far as he's going to go, and I don't see that offense being another juggernaut. So when you throw in there, you got the Rams and the 49ers. So at least we're not playing, Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers or Matt Ice early in the season. We've got some games where you have teams that are going to struggle on offense. And I think maybe, just maybe, that'll give us a little bit of time to get those guys up to speed. Maybe I'm wrong and we'll end up being 0-6, but I at least feel good about the teams we're playing early.
Yeah, these teams are not, like you say, offensive juggernauts. I really think that we can average against any defense 31 points a game.
Yeah,
it's gonna put a lot of pressure on the Giants. So I really don't think that. And it's just been proven time and time out that time and time again that Eli Manning is not a technician of the field of being careful with the ball. Even within the preseason, you saw how he passed those lofty passes, and it looks like it's going to be picked off. So, like I said, if these young rookies can just be out there on the field, then hopefully we'll see a better product as far as angles and all this stuff,
Yeah, well, I agree. So we'll just have to wait and see. We'll find out. What I always tell people is, preseason is preseason. You don't really know much about a team. You had the Detroit Lions go 4-0 and proceed to lose every single game and go 0-16. But you can get a kind of a feel for what the team is, but you really don't know what the team is going to be till really October. A lot of times people will think that, oh my God, this team is playing 4-0. They're going to play in lights out. They're Super Bowl favorite. And then they proceed to lose every other game the rest of the season. So it'll take time to find out what the team really is, and also for us to get back some of our players and things. So as we get through this early part of the season, hopefully against these offenses that are challenged, then we start getting guys like David Irving back and some of the other guys to start adding people to the mix. Jalen Smith coming along. I don't think he's ready yet to be a 50-play guy, and I hope that they don't try and do that just yet. I hope they keep bringing him on slowly. But we will get stronger in that defense as the season goes on.
Yeah, the defense is going to be all right. We play a lot of nickel, so although we're missing Hitch flew out to the ball. Just keep in mind, Jalen Smith is about 85, maybe 86% by now. And he's going to do something out there. He's not going to be the guy that you're going to say, okay, he's playing every snap. But the snaps that he is playing, he's going to be out there good enough to make plays. And like I said, we play a lot of nickel. So the person that I want to stay healthy is Sean Lee. Durant. I want Durant to stay healthy. Yeah. Durant can ball.
But he's been injured most of the preseason here. So I'm hoping he's going to be healthy by, next week. The season's coming real quick. I mean, tomorrow's already Tuesday, guys. Next Thursday, it will be Kansas City and New England. So it's coming real quick. Come Sunday, we will be on with the New York Giants. I can't believe that the offseason is over and we are here finally for the regular season. Are you nervous about the season?
No, like I said, I think we can either, at worst case scenario, go 11-5. Best case scenario, we're going to go 12-4. And that's what I'm feeling. My girl Sarah Green in the house, she's saying we're going 15-1. So either way, either way, we're going to win, baby.
Okay, all right. I'll take your word for that with Sarah. 15-1. Okay. That's better than what I was saying. I was saying about 10-6. I'd be happy because I'm pretty sure that would end up winning the division. Well, thanks, JD, about the Red Brick House. I appreciate that. I'm going to be back doing some more work on that next week as well. I don't have a sister. Okay. Well, thank God you don't there, Daniel, because if she was anything like you, we'd be in trouble. Dak will be back, take care of the ball, and pass. Yeah. So that's the thing I love about Dak, Jackie, is he's going to find the open man. With Dez Bryant last year, he told him, I'll get you the ball when you're open. I love a quarterback that's not forcing it to a guy just because he says, give me the ball. I feel great about him. I feel good about our offensive line. Like Law was saying, I'm kind of worried about our defensive backfield not getting enough reps and stuff on the field and staying healthy. So who is the one player that has surprised you so far this offseason, this preseason?
Jason Witten, believe it or not. He's getting these 15 and 20 yards down the field. That's the guy that I'm saying, reliable. He's staying healthy. He's playing aggressive. He's hungry enough to get out there in the middle of the field. And think about this. Although Dak Prescott said that Dez Bryant is the most improved player, if we look at everything in a glass ceiling, you're going to have to double team Dez Bryant, right?
Yeah.
McCole Beasley out there, you're going to have to demand some type of bracket coverage. So this is leaving this old man Witt wide open in the middle of the field. Watch Dak Prescott attack the middle of the field, which he didn't do as much last year. But watch this kid just dominate in the middle of the field this year.
Well, see, the thing I think that's amazing to me, at least, is when you listen to the talking heads, the experts that are out there, they keep talking about, well, Dak's going to regress. But they don't seem to realize that going into training camp, Dak wasn't like he was the number one pick where they're saying, okay, we're going to get you some work because you're going to be playing. Dak was an afterthought until Moore went down, which would have been like 2 weeks ago if it was this season. So that's when Dak finally actually started getting some real work. And then Tony Romo went down, basically would have been the last preseason game. So we only had 2 weeks before the season started to become the starting quarterback. So for him to have done as well as he did with as little work as he did, because once the season starts, you're not getting that much teaching. You've got Tuesday off. You've got Wednesday you're putting in the offense or the defense. Thursday you're doing one good practice, and then Friday you're doing a walkthrough, and Saturday you're traveling. So what you learn before game one is basically as much as you're going to learn. It's just going to be then a change of plays. For him to have done as well and have the connections that he did with Cole Beasley and Terrence Williams early in that season is actually phenomenal. But now to have a full off season to start working the nuances, to learn these guys, to me, just watching him out there these last two games, he's just like boom, 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 boom. And there's so many different guys to hit. Okay, so Witten's this week. Next week it might be Cole Beasley. He's got just too much to stop, and I think it's going to be a nightmare for defensive coordinators.
It will, man. You explained it well. No one else can really just put it like you just said it, because at the same time, when you're talking about game planning or quarterback tendencies, right? This guy is a distributor of the football. He doesn't care who your accolades are, who you are, what have you. So he's going to hit my guy T. Will up. He's going to hit my guy Bryce Butler up. He's going to hit my guy, quote unquote, Cole Beasley.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that Tony
And
Romo
hit him in
used to say
hit him in
he's always
stride.
open.
He's not going to have to
7-11.
read back. He's going to be in stride. It's going to be right there where he can just not even skip a beat. That's the amazing part about it.
Right. So Cole Beasley's new name for me is 7-11. You know, because this guy's is always open. He's going to find a way to
I like
get out
that.
to the middle of the field.
So, not the hot sauce too much anymore, huh? But, okay. Now,
No. Not hot sauce. 7-11.
7-Eleven. Okay, he's always open. I like that. Okay, now, I had mentioned earlier today about the Cowboys were probably making some phone calls and looking at maybe doing some trades because it's a numbers game. They got a lot of guys that they would like to be able to keep, but they're not. They might be trying to make a move to do some stuff. So people told me that you were talking about some different trades and stuff. So tell me what you think the Cowboys might do, or who you'd like to see them try and make a trade to do something with.
Cleveland Brown is loaded on defensive backs. We know that. They got a veteran guy, Joe Hayden. He's available out there. Possibly if you entertain, who got so many compensatory picks, which they do allow for us to trade this year or next year or what have you.
Right.
That's one resource. And then the Kansas City Chiefs, they got they loaded in linebacking core, right?
Mm-hmm.
Although I think they play a different scheme. I don't think they play a 4-3. But they linebackers look feasible enough for us to just entertain some type of trade or some type of vertical movement. But the thing that we need to watch out for is 1,184 players that's going to be able to be out there.
Yeah.
As it relates to like this free agency that's going to come up with the next following days, because the team's got to get down to 53.
53.
37 players. Yeah, 37 players is going to be on them. I'm going to be able to pick out some good guys to be able to jump into the mix, you know. And I do know a lot of people saying Joe Hayden is a guy that's likely to be injured. He's like a rich man's Orlando Scandrick. So, but if you think about it in a glass prism,
Yeah.
him being out there with AB on the outside, come on, that's going to be fantastic for this division.
Yeah, well, Brian, I think the Cowboys are definitely going to be looking to bring in another linebacker, too, just for depth, if nothing else. And that's what I was saying, that this is kind of like poor man's free agency coming up Saturday. We're going to have a lot of teams that are going to be lining up at the Dallas Cowboys door because there's great players that are out there. If you think about it, we had Danny Amendola was in the Dallas Cowboys camp, but it was, again, those numbers games, we cut him. If that guy could have stayed from getting injured, he would have been a hell of a player. But he's still, with New England, got himself a ring and everything else. So when you're looking at it, there's guys we're going to cut that are going to be starters other places. And vice versa. There's places where we need guys, and you can get them basically for a song now. We got $15 million in cap room thanks to Tony Romo not being here. And we've got 10 picks, I believe, for next year. It looks like we're going to get a fourth, a fifth, 2-6 next year, maybe compensatory.
Right, and we can't fall in love with these picks. What I want us to see is if we can make a combination and trade up and get some people. Hold on. General Beasley said that what are our thoughts on Noah Brown? He's in the comment box. Said about him taking first team snaps. By size and by blocking ability, Noah Brown is good for this team. And although my pet cat was Lance Lenore, but he just don't have the size. I think he can skate about. Getting on the practice squad. The other kid, I think he's going to get on the practice squad too again, the Andy Jones of the world. So I think that Noah Brown may be that guy that's going to be able to be on this team as it relates to the wide receivers. So look out for him. If he taking first team snaps, then he might be on this team.
Well, they're definitely trying to find out if he is that guy. Because, again, that's the numbers game. Because, when you start looking about Ryan Switzer, Cole Beasley, Terrence Williams, Bryce Butler, Dez, Noah Brown, you got too many of them. So do you look at taking I'm going to see something crazy. I said this earlier. Do you look at trying maybe making a trade for like Cole Beasley to somebody? I mean, if somebody could knock your socks off and try and make a trade like that. I'm not recommending it because I love him. But, maybe it's a Bryce Butler that somebody needs a receiver, that's somebody that you go ahead and trade and get something back for him because you can't keep them all. And if you think that Noah Brown with the size and stuff like that, you want to keep him, who do you let go then?
I'm sorry, Bryce Butler, you gone. I love Bryce Butler, but I'm going to keep 7-11. I can't get rid of Bees, man.
Okay,
I can't get rid of that guy. He's loyal. He's to the team.
Yeah.
He's from the area, so I don't think they're going to get rid of Beasley.
And herein lies the problem. You've got a lot of guys that, you look at running backs. Alfred Morris and Run DMC both have been looking pretty good the last 2 weeks and running. And then you got Rod Smith, who's looking really good. Now, Zeke being suspended helps that situation for the moment. But when he comes back, are you going to keep 4 guys? Or do you say, you know what, let's roll the dice and we can trade Alfred Morris if somebody, really is desperate for a running back?
It's the intangibles with the running back. What can you do that we can't see? And that's the special teams, and that's blocking, and that's catching the ball out of the backfield. So, me personally, if I was the scouting or I was a team evaluator, I would roll with McFadden, I would roll with Rob Smith, and then I have my guy Hillman out there.
Yeah. Roman, I agree that Stephen Paya has been playing really good quietly at defensive tackle. I think we actually have a good rotation of guys that are in there because we have a lot of guys that people aren't talking about. Stephen Paya is one of them. DeMarcus Lawrence has actually been looking really good, and basically he's playing for that contract as well. I expect him to be back where he was 2 years ago. I think David Irving, when he gets back, he's going to be hungry with his size and everything else. I think Taco's going to do good. I think we actually are going to have a decent rotation of pass rushers that are going to surprise some people. But definitely, that's another spot that we've got a numbers game as well. I mean, you got Tyron Crawford, you got DeMarcus Lawrence, you got Collins, you got Thornton, you got Paya, you got Tapper. I mean, all of a sudden now you can't keep all of them. Which one of the guys are going to be ones that you let go?
It's going to be somebody that's drafted. I think that Lewis Neal, he earns a spot number 66. He's flashing out to the ball now, although he's only like 5'11", close to 6 foot, but he's explosive. He can get out to the quarterback, and he's one of those guys that you just say, hey, I don't want him to go to our robberies because I think that if he gets out there on the waiver wire, somebody's going to pick him up this inter-division because this guy's flashing to the ball.
Yeah. You know what I find funny is that a lot of people are saying, we ought to trade Calvin Moore for somebody. It's like, you got to trade him for a ham sandwich? Josh Carroll says that you look like James Harden, by the way. Okay.
I wish I was his age. I'm about 9 years older than James Harden.
I wish I had his money, okay?
Right. Well, his money, too, as well, right? That boy signed a big contract.
Yeah. I think they're going to keep.
I hope he's all right, okay down in Houston too as well. Yeah, shout out to James.
Shout out to everybody out in Houston. We actually poured one for everybody in Houston, right? Kellen Moore. I think Jerry Jones is going to hold on to him. What do you think?
Oh my God, man! The teacher's pet. Get rid of Kellen Moore. He's eligible for the practice squad. I guarantee you, with every dollar in my pocket, that nobody's going to really just reach out and pick him up. So just put him out to the practice squad. Put Cooper Rush. I was doing a channel yesterday, and they were saying Cooper for Rush for president. That sounds like a good presidential name, right?
Well, the backup quarterback is always the most popular guy on the team. Okay,
right?
Forever, So everybody's always saying, I can see now the first incompletion. Put in Cooper Rush. He'll be better than Dak. Oh, so here we go.
I love that though. I love that, man. Keep. Hey, think about this, Mark. You remember the 90s? Hey, Steve Berline was a bad quarterback.
Oh, my God.
Quarterback. These wasn't no scrubs, man. People fail to realize.
Yeah.
Had Rodney Pete at one point.
Yeah. We had some great ones and stuff. Yeah.
The younger kids won't understand that,
Yeah, well. And also, remember, oh, God.
Steve Berline.
Well, no, not Steve Berline. But remember, I'm going to go way back with Troy Aikman and Steve Walsh.
Oh, yeah. Ooh.
Okay, when they thought that Steve Walsh might be the better quarterback than Troy Aikman. Do you remember that?
Steve Walsh had a better collegiate career than Troy.
Yeah.
No one can argue that.
Yeah, well, that's about all you could argue.
Hey, he played in Jimmy Johnson's system, you know.
Yeah. But moving right along. Teams you hate: the Falcons, Cardinals, Giants, Eagles, and Raiders. Well, David, I'm going to tell you, I believe that the Falcons are going to be headed for a fall. Every year when you have the playoffs, half the team that made the playoffs this year don't make it the next year. And I believe the Falcons are one of the ones that are going to be overrated. Going into last year, nobody thought Falcons were going to get out of the basement, much less go to the Super Bowl. And I think they went to the Super Bowl partially because their division really stunk to high hell. Carolina went down the toilet. New Orleans has been about where they've been the last few years. Drew Brees doing fantastic, but the defense is not being there. And Tampa Bay stepped up, and Tampa Bay actually even beat them one time. So I think Atlanta is not going to be as good as everybody thinks they are. But what do I know? I'm a guy with a voodoo doll and a day job, so I could be wrong. Who's your team that you think that everybody thinks is going to be good is going to fall?
I hope it. I can't stand Green Bay. I hate the quarterback who seems like he's privileged in a way. He sucks to me. He blows. They kind of bloviate.
We kind of lost you on that. So, Aaron Rodgers. Oh.
Yeah. They think that he's the next thing since sliced bread. I hate Aaron Rodgers. I can't stand Aaron Rodgers. He blows. He sucks to me. And he just one of these guys that so happened to win a Super Bowl because of the defense, not because of his play. And he's one of those Eli, quote-unquote, type of quarterbacks that just somehow that they bloviate and put up on a map. So I'm telling you right now that my guy, Dak Prescott, is a better quarterback than Aaron Rodgers. He will one day win a Super Bowl, and Aaron Rodgers is going to be an afterthought. That's my news for the day about the funky Green Bay Packers. I can't stand them.
Well, actually, that's a game that I'm thinking about going to in Dallas. My wife's actually going to New Orleans that week, so that's a perfect week for me to say, you know what, I think I should go to Dallas. But it's also close to my birthday, so that's the one I'm kind of circling on my calendar right now, Green Bay on October 8th, and I think that would be a great game.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, now this is an old school.
Hold on, Brian Volchek said, "Who's better, Starback or Aikman?" Come on, man, Starback all day, baby.
Great minds think alike. Because I was just about to read that one. I was going to say old school. I said Roger Starback will always be mine. You guys have no clue what football was like back in the day. Right now you look at Tom Brady, you're getting an unnecessary roughness penalty. These guys got the crap beat out of it, and you would have seen Roger Staubach running the ball like crazy. Roger the Dodger, give him a minute in the football, and you're going to win the game. He was Mr. Clutch every day, best quarterback to me ever. But again, I'm a homer. There's no comparison.
Oh no, there's no comparison.
Brian, you're asking some great questions tonight. Who scares me in the NFC? No one scares you in the NFC but the Vikings. I'm not sure the Vikings scare me because they don't have an offense. Who scares you in the NFC?
Well, the Vikings are pretty much a quarterback away. I knew Brad was going to show up to be Brad, whatever the quarterback name. Last year, they were showing very good out there on the field. It's just that they just didn't have a quarterback.
Their defense was, yeah.
Yeah, the defense, man, if we had their defense, oh, my God, But neither here nor there. Who scares me out of the NFC? The team that get hot in November. That's the team that scares me. And those teams are relatively known as the Seattle Seahawks. They get hot sometime. And who else get hot? Believe it or not, I'll throw out the Giants. I'm not scared to say that. If they get hot,
The team that scares me in the NFC is the team we're playing each Sunday, because anybody can beat you on any given Sunday. So I won't put it past anybody. I do recall our team being 1-15 and beating the Redskins that were actually playoff bound. So you can't think of, we're not going to worry about those other teams. You got to worry about everybody because everybody can knock you out. Are you still when are you moving?
I will be in Dallas September the 5th. I'm in the process of closing out on a house. Praise to God. It's one of those processes, man. You should have told me about it. I'm a first time home buyer in that market. So The taxes in Texas, man, come on, man. The taxes in Texas are just crazy.
Well, okay. So we're definitely going to be coming down and working on your man cave. See, I can say that's a working trip. Honey, I got to go out of town and do some work. But it is already 10 o'clock, and as always, this hour goes like crazy. I'm going to give you the last word, Law Nation, as you throw down that last drink.
Hey, no problem, man. I got one thing to say to you guys. Are you listening? I got one more thing to say to you guys. Are you guys listening? How about them Cowboys? I'm out. Salute.
Amen on that one. And with that, thoughts and prayers go out to Houston. Thoughts and prayers to Zeke Elliott tomorrow for that hearing. And hopefully that'll work out for us. You know, maybe it's darkest before the dawn. And guys, we have less than 2 weeks before we take on those New York stinking Giants. And I can't wait to shut up these trolls. So as always, I want to thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing, and being a part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. And with that, I'll see you guys soon.